Joining us now to discuss United's continued plight in a moment or two will be the former United and England keeper, former teammate of Troy's, Ben Foster. But you have to say, as far as this season goes, Troy, I mean, the season's a write-off, isn't it? You know, as long as they don't go down, they're not going to go down. You've got to let Amorim get to the summer, have a chance to rebuild a side with the sort of players that he requires to play the system that he insists on playing.
Yeah, I don't see this season as a write-off, though, if I'm being totally honest with you. I think it's a case of building, going forward, making sure that they get all the style and what they want to do and the foundations and that changing room right. So whoever they bring in player-wise understands the roles, the responsibilities, and knows that they need to do and deliver and what's expected to play for Man United. Because I think over the years they've let that go, and I think that's what Amorim is saying is why it's so difficult, Jeff, in terms of his job. I think he would have walked in expected to see a level of professionalism at a club at Man United stature and been like, what is this?
Is it an impossible job? So many good managers have come in, tried and failed.
But a load of managers have come in and tried to do it their way and win instantly. I think the reason that he's been able to come in and say, right, we're not doing it that way, we're going to do it a different way, is because he realises how far off they are. And as Gabby would say, they're miles off it. So let's get into a situation where we start again and go from there.
Let's hear from your former teammate, shall we? Because Ben Foster
Has he
joins
finally
us now.
turned up?
Yeah, he's turned up. Morning, Ben.
Morning, lads. Morning. I totally forgot. I won't even try and sugarcoat it. I totally forgot.
Brilliant. Never mind, mate. What do you make of what's going on at the moment? What do you make of Ruben Amorim's start?
Yeah, it's not been fantastic. We do a weekly show on YouTube, and we were talking about it yesterday. And the record is it's not very good at all, is it? But I just think the main worry for me is that he's still trying to stick with this formation with the players that don't suit the formation. I think you've got to be adaptive. You've got to play the players where they suit a formation, something that works in a certain way. And what he's trying to do, he just hasn't got the players to do it. So he's got to be adaptive, he's got to change it, and he's not willing to do that. And that's a problem for me. Yeah,
but Fuzzy, do you think as well in the current state of affairs, if he was to come in and change, let's say, I don't know, played 4-5-1, let's just say, and they started winning, it'd be very difficult for him to change away from that once he's got in now. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think if he has got a set formation that he likes to play, so 3-5-2, for example, I think with transfer windows, he can start to mould it into a 3-5-2. For now, you've got to do what works, what gets you 3 points on a Saturday afternoon. You play your best players in their best positions, which suits the team as a whole. You and me both know, Troy, that you will have so many players that are really good at different things, but it might look good on paper, but the team, sort of the way that it works, it isn't that kind of way. So you've got to play them in a way that suits the team as a whole and is most effective for a team. I think with transfer windows, they'll be able to do it, but you can't just put it straight away.
One thing I want to ask you, Fuzzy, because you was there, and I hate going back to under Sir Alex, but I feel like when I'm looking in through the window, I feel that Amorim is trying to create a culture that has obviously gone away, just disintegrated, and he's made this real stance on trying to get rid of Rashford, Casemiro, Anthony, people that he feels don't buy into it. Do you feel that this, between now and the pre-season, is about him getting those groundworks in? Because we know just how much happens at a training ground, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a massive job for him, a massive undertaking, which is gonna. The club need to invest in him. I think the fans are on board. The fans want to invest in Ruben Amorim. I think they've had enough now of the previous managers and chopping and changing. And I think they've accepted that this season is a complete write-off. United are probably very lucky that there's 4 teams down there who are almost cut adrift already and are going to be fighting it out for themselves amongst relegation. So they'll probably have the lowest Premier League points total they've ever had in the history of the Premier League, Man United, this season. But thankfully, they'll be absolutely fine. The summer's going to be the big one for Ruben Amorim. He's going to have to try and clear players out. But you know just as well as I do, Troy, that if you're Casemiro and you've got 18 months left on your contract on 300 grand a week, you ain't going nowhere. And there's probably... Honestly, there's probably, I would say, 10 or 12 players in that Man United team that are in the same boat as Casemiro, where they're like, hang on a minute, I've got 2 or 3 years left on crazy money. Why would I want to go? It's comfy here. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going anywhere.
Ben, look, I thought they were a bit unlucky at the weekend. To be honest, I thought the only difference between the two sides at the end of the day was the performance of Vicario compared to the performance of Andre Onana. But I just want to move that on to Jamie Carragher said 2 or 3 weeks ago now that he thought the standard of goalkeeping in the Premier League was at an all-time low. What's your view of that?
Oh, I love it. I disagree. I think the
Goalkeepers Union.
Obviously, yeah, the number one, I think the number ones are still top tier. You know, we've got some fantastic number ones in this Premier League, which are some of the best in the world. I think we've been quite unlucky this season with a lot of goalkeepers getting injuries, and we're relying on number 2 goalkeepers to come in. You've had it at Tottenham, Liverpool. I think the good thing for Liverpool is, and the reason why they're still probably top of the league, is their number 2 goalkeeper when he comes in is Caoimhin Kelleher, who's been phenomenal. You can't really notice too much of a drop off from Alisson. Saying that, Alisson is still for me 1, 2, 3 in the world, but the other ones, when their number 2 comes in, there's a big drop off. There really is.
Hey, I tell you what, just quickly, Alex Palmer, that save at the weekend for Ipswich right at the end. What a save! What a mate to make your Premier League debut.
So happy for him. So happy for him. When I was at West Brom, he was just a young kid coming through, and he's built so well. Honestly, he's a specimen. He looks so good. He doesn't look like a goalie, to be honest with you. He's got like 5% body fat. Like, we're not built like that normally. We're really not. But he's a great lad, and he's worked really hard, and he's always listened, paid attention, done it professionally, done it properly. And then when he got into the West Brom team for the last 2 or 3 years, he's absolutely smashed it. And delighted to see him at the weekend as well. You know, I think it would have been a big game for him. Obviously, Villa, you know, coming from a West Brom team, it's a bit of a sort of a Midlands, you know, local rival for him. So he did really well, and I'm really happy for him.
Fuzzy, just a real quick one, mate, before we let you go. I'm sure you've been on that bike this morning because you're looking $1 million as always.
I've been running, Troy. I've been running. You wouldn't believe it, mate. They haven't. We're out in Abu Dhabi, and they haven't. The gym, it's fantastic gym, but they haven't got many bikes that suit my needs. I need a top tier bike if I'm going to get on the gym bike. So I've been out on the road. I've been road running instead.
Well, they must be paying you a lot to get you to run. For Wrexham, mate. What do you think? Obviously, invested a lot in January, bought in Jay Rodriguez, still chasing the mighty Blues, and obviously we know that Blues are going up. So how do you think they're going to do? Do you think they can nick second, or is it a playoffs for them?
It's I think it's going to be a good fight now for them. It's Blues. I think they've just run away with that league. But I just like the way that Wrexham have done it. They've invested solidly in really good, solid players. They know that league really well. The manager Phil has done an incredible job as well. I'm still one of the football clubs that, if you could let a Premier League team, if you could let a big team, a proper team, have a manager with that much control, I think you'd see clubs thriving again. I really do think you'd see clubs thriving again. Their model is fantastic. Phil Parkinson has his say from top to bottom in that football club. Every single player that comes in, he finds out about them. He just does due diligence, knows if they'll work well within the group. And then even if they're a fantastic player, but the other boxes aren't ticked, he's not signing them. It's as simple as that. And if big Premier League clubs could take note and follow suit like that, we'd have some unbelievable teams in this Premier League.
Fuzzy, and also the guys in the back just want to know, there's a rumour that you're 6'5". I was telling them you're 6'1" at best. So can you just put that to bed, please?
Why are you doing me like that, Troy? Troy, I'm 6'3" 3/4. In the morning it's 6'4". At night time it's about 6'1" because I'm getting old. I'm 41 years old. The discs, the lower back discs. By the end of the day they're killing. No, I'm about 6'3" now. I think I'm on the way down.
Hey, nice. You've got no problems, Ben. I'm 5'7 1/4, and I get shorter every single day. Look, thanks for joining us, mate.
Top man, buddy.
Pleasure. Cheers, guys.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.